Call the January 12th meeting of the Municipal Airport Authority to order. First, welcome everybody. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good.
Gotcha.
All right. Eric, that was really good. All right, you all received December 22nd, 2020 minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, minutes stand approved as printed. Number 2, approve the airport vouchers totaling $33,104.03. Are there any questions about the airport vouchers?
Motion.
Okay.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the airport vouchers totaling $33,104.03. Roll call vote.
Haugen.
Aye.
Engen.
Aye.
Cosgrove.
Aye.
Lind.
Aye.
Lynn.
Aye. Number 3, approve the individual vouchers as follows. We have A through I.
Motion.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the individual vouchers from A to I. Flint Communications, Sixel, Meineke Johnson, Northern Plains Mechanical, Rickard Electric, O'Day Equipment, TL Stroh Architects, and Fargo Jet Center. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Haugen.
Aye.
Engen.
Aye.
Cosgrove.
Aye.
Lind.
Aye.
Lynn.
Aye. All right, number 4, receive the 2021 marketing plan from Flint Communications.
Good morning, Tara. Tara and her team from Flint are on there.
Good morning.
Well, it's kind of a bummer. I can't really see your faces. I was expecting them up close in front, but that's okay. All right, I am going to go ahead and share my screen, and I have Madison on as well from Flint this morning. She will walk through some of the earned media side of 2021 plans. So give me a second here. All right, thumbs up. You can see the screen okay? Or nod your head, one or the other.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, good deal. And just close that out. I'm going to leave this not in presentation mode because I think some of the digital ads weren't playing when I was in a presentation mode. So I can zoom in whenever needed. So just chime in if something is too small. Be glad to zoom in because sometimes there's a little too much information on these slides. So thanks again for allowing us to present another year. Last year obviously presented its own challenges from the world pandemic, and that trickled down to our local marketing efforts. So we really scaled back majority of our paid media starting the last half of the year. So this year we took a slightly different approach to how we'll go about it. I think we can kind of take it by a quarter basis. If things change, we can obviously shift things around just depending on where we're at. But here is where we're planning to start the new year. So I'll go through a handful of slides and then transition it to Madison. So we're going to go over your goals for the year, the overall marketing plan, our paid, earned, shared, owned media approach. So we call that our PESO model. And then just touch on some of the digital creative that we've thought about, because how do you approach pushing travel right now? So I think the approach that we have and the creative that we have does a nice job with that. So we will move on to the next slide. Our goals for the year, we're just, again, trying to keep Hector top of mind when anyone is booking their leisure travel. Provide that peace of mind to regional travelers. This is a very still uncertain time. We're carrying into the new year, we're seeing numbers improve, but it's still, there's uncertainty about it all. Instill that confidence in the safety of air travel as well. So those are our 3 main priorities for the year. And the marketing strategy will include paid media and will focus primarily on targeted digital ads. We've really pulled back on all of the other traditional media for the year. Earned media, that's Madison, over ongoing community outreach from a public relations side, article pitching, planning, and the shared media side too, that's also Madison, just from the social content management, how we handle, social spaces, basically being passenger, customer support to passengers on Facebook, Twitter, their questions, their direct messages coming out to us. Airline supporting the posts that they're sharing and the content that they're sharing. And providing low fare destinations that have timely, socially distant, locations that are appealing to people. And then the travel alerts, anything weather related, TSA related, etc. Owned media, that will be anything that falls under, just keeping the website up to date, updating the e-newsletters up on the website, any newsroom information that we post, quarterly emails going out, and then again, social just kind of wraps into that as well. The next slide is really just kind of a visual graphic for you that kind of ties those 4 buckets together. This isn't something I'm going to go over in detail, but it just gives you a better visual of how they overlap with each other, from paid to earned to shared to owned. So that was all that one was for. So I will touch first of all on the paid media side. We're continuing to target 25 to 54-year-old leisure travelers, 200-mile radius of Fargo, reaching the Alexandria Metro, Sioux Falls, Jamestown, Winnipeg, Detroit Lakes, and just continuing with a strong digital presence with Google display ads. And this will all include new creative for the year. YouTube video, that would be any type of 15-second or 30-second video that you see on your device, or whether you're on the YouTube channel. Those are the brief videos that you see before you're watching any content, or midstream content, I should say. And then the Facebook ads performing very well. So, and then from a budget perspective, the paid media budget was reduced by about 50% from what we had proposed last year. So paid media overall budget for 2021 is $87,675. And now your next screen is going to be one that we need our glasses on for. I can zoom in a little bit, but this is the spreadsheet. I normally have a printout for everyone a little bit bigger than this, but I'm going to just zoom in here. So just over here on the left side is all the mediums. So, and then I'll switch over to the right side with the amounts. We carried over, so you'll see TV here, radio, and a little bit of print. That is carried over from fall of 2020 that covered Bison football. So that will cover spring football, the Bison sports property. This is spring football as well, and same with the Bison Illustrated issue here. So that's a carryover from 2020 that we had pre-committed to. But I think that will still be great coverage there. So, and then we just have our live interactive spots, the 60 seconds. We kept those in just to keep the public aware of anything changing, anything up to date at the airport. Those do really well, and we can keep them up to date. We can change out the messaging every month if we want to. So it's a nice, easy way to get the information out to the public. So scrolling down is really where the bulk of the spend is at, and this is really in a nutshell, online display ads. So the little ads that you'll be served, whether it's on your computer or your phone, through Google network and another local network, a search retargeting network, YouTube, in-stream video, and then paid social. So that you'll see the bulk of the budget of the paid media budget. I think that was 49,000 of the 87. So here's the numbers over here. Hopefully you can still see. Oh boy. Click the wrong button. Hopefully you can see this okay. Ugh. Spreadsheets are fun. We got that 10,000 for the Bison TV, 23,600 for the radio medium. That's the 17,000 for live interactives, and then the 6,600 for the Bison radio. And then the three publications is the Bison Illustrated, the spring issue, and then the 2022 travel guide and I'm sorry, the chamber directory. Yeah, I knew it was two guides there. And then down here, yes, 49,000 for the digital side. So this is where we can be the most efficient with our dollars, the most efficient with our messaging. If things are not performing up to par, we can, adjust that on the fly and make those changes or shift our messaging. If things, again, we wake up and things are drastically different, we can shift that rather quickly. So that's the whole rationale behind really focusing on the digital side. And then just down here on the bottom, I've added Flint production time. So just from a PR standpoint, I bucketed $18,000 for the year for Madison's PR. Any implementation strategy that she works on with Hector, that is bucketed there. Any creative time to update any digital ads, radio, anything like that, social media, that all is bucketed in the creative line item. Social management is its own line item. And then website maintenance, just ongoing maintenance. I don't think we ever really eat up that full budget, but that is there. So that is those prices, 18,000, 15,000, 30,000. We upped the social management just because we're really, we're leaning on social and PR and digital for the year. We're leaning heavily on those, so that you'll see an increase in time. So the total budget for the year is 155,675. So I think the next slide will be some earned media, because we're going through that paid, earned, shared, owned. So Madison, I will zoom out here and you can just go through the next few slides and then we can go back to me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time this morning. With our public relations efforts, we're going to really keep things just an ongoing effort like we did through 2020. I'm super grateful for having Sean because he's very responsive and so willing to take interviews, and he always does a great job. That's led to a lot of opportunities for us, especially with local media. We really have a great relationship with local media and they love to hear about what's going on at the airport. So just continuing proactive pitches, whether that be with flight related information, any sort of building information, CDC updates, TSA updates, cleaning procedures. The local media really does like to hear about all of those changes that are taking place. We've also been able to showcase the airport's swift response to the pandemic and the efforts that have been put in place to keep travelers safe. And that's been a great story to talk about as well, both in the media and on social media. We want to continue to grow and foster public awareness with the airport's offerings, not just with flights, but things that are happening at the airport outside of that. One of the big pieces that we maybe didn't get to showcase as much in 2020 with the pandemic, but I think we can look to strengthen a bit more in 2021 is the economic impact that the airport has on the metro area and the region. Hector is really an economic hub, and it's great to position it as such. And then we'll continue to help with any sort of crisis management or issue management as we go. So for 2021, when Tara showed the slide with the peso model and the different circles, at the center of that graphic, there was content. So everything we do, we really want to focus around the content and streamline messaging, meaning that our paid media matches what we're pitching, in the earned media matches what we're sharing on social media, and just making sure that we really have a cohesive approach to the year. So the next couple of slides are our messaging going into 2021. I don't think this is going to be a surprise for anyone. We welcome feedback if there is any, but we really want to focus on the airport being nimble, how it's a quick and flexible and convenient solution for regional travelers. With this, we get to position it, especially for those leisure travelers, as the simple solution where you aren't driving and parking and staying in an extra hotel, because you can do everything you need to do right here. We want to flip to that next slide.
Yeah.
Again, we touched on that community building aspect. The Municipal Airport Authority obviously governs the airport, and we want to work closely with you to position all of the efforts that are going on at the airport, whether that be for earned media or for social media. This could include things like the Arts Partnership and the Artworks program that has taken place. That got great traction. It got great media coverage. The efforts with Make-A-Wish. We can certainly highlight those as we get more of those flights coming in and out. We can talk about the array of tenants that are at the airport and the businesses that are supported through this program. And then the airports and the airlines that are coming in with different destinations, and then improvements that are being made to the facility itself. We also have the opportunity to showcase the relationship with TSA and regional travelers through global entry workshops, through TSA pre-check events. Hector truly is a community partner, and we can showcase that for travelers and how we're facilitating those opportunities to make their travel experience easier and better. And then lastly, we really want to hit home that flying right now is safe. With strict cleaning procedures put in place, CDC efforts and World Health Organization regulations that are being followed, we just really want to showcase that it's completely safe to travel right now, and the different tactics that are being used to ensure that's the case.
Hey, Madison.
Yeah.
This is Tammy. One of the things that, and I'm not sure if you guys have considered it, and maybe it's not that relevant, but under community, we have a video, and it's called the Wall of Honor, and it's a video that scrolls of veterans and law enforcement. So that's kind of a nice little feature that it would be really fun to be able to at least see, you know, see some, if it comes up, let's put it that way. I think that's something that we're very proud of.
Absolutely. I think that's great for us to know. Now that you say that, I've actually noticed it when I've been at the airport. And it's interesting to watch because it's all people from our region, which is great. We will definitely take note of that.
Okay.
All right, I will transition over back to shared media. Madison, you can touch on this as well if you would like. You know, pretty standard goals with steady growth again on all platforms. But Madison has taken on this role as well for Hector. So the content management, you know, obviously intertwines with the PR side of it. So it makes it much more efficient on our end to have one person to basically troubleshoot, anything that's coming through, from a low fare post to a weather-related cancellation post, to any new announcement that we need to make. So, Madison, you want to touch on anything here?
With the social media, I think you'll see that a lot will remain very similar to what we were doing before, highlighting those low fares. Those get great engagement. We just gave away a luggage set, and that got fantastic engagement. It also, like Tara mentioned, it plays well with PR, and with everyone being in tune to the same kind of hot topics and what people are talking about, and any sort of questions or concerns that we can address then through the media on more of a wide scale approach.
Can I ask how many posts a day you guys are making?
Typically it's one post per day. I would say per week we're looking anywhere from 4 to 6, depending on what's going on. And with that 4 to 6 number, we're looking Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter would each receive those posts.
And are you ever going to come back and go through the analytics of how many posts you're generating and so forth, and follow-ons with the analytics of the social posting?
We certainly can, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess for the sake of time today, we can definitely pull just even a recap of the full year, how things, how many people we reached, how many people were engaging with the content. Definitely you can share that with you guys. So.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yep.
And then I had another question about the website maintenance. We had a line item for $5,000 a year, and how many hours is that? And do we spend that if we? I mean, is it just automatically done, or is that we only chew into that bucket if something breaks on the website? We get charged for it automatically, or is it a la carte kind of thing?
It's a la carte. I don't believe that we've even reached the 5,000 in the last few years. As just it's
Okay.
kind of there because the site it's aging. Websites age and things can break, like you say. You are on a private hosting server, so any of those breaks and things, we can handle under that cost. But this is anything from adding content onto your site, and that the 5,000 breaks out to about 35 hours. So in a whole year, you break that out. It's not a ton of time.
Okay.
All right, so we'll shift over. We'll get those analytics over to you. I apologize if that wasn't included here. I think I was just trying to keep, sometimes slide decks can get a little lengthy. So, own media.
Don't worry.
Okay, own media. Again, this just covers any of those newsletter updates that we work on quarterly.
Sarah?
Yes.
Sarah, Mike Haugen would like to ask a question.
Sure.
I've got a question on your calendar here. I want to remind you that July 24th and 25th is an air show, and
Yep.
there seems to be not much in the middle of the summer, and there will be a good opportunity to put out some information on flights are still available, and the air shows does not interrupt normal travel. So
Yep,
something for media.
absolutely. I believe that was on the social calendar. So yep, from a PR, you're probably looking at that ongoing monthly calendar. Yeah. Yep. Madison, you can take note of that.
Okay.
Thank you. So yes, so e-newsletters, I just did a quick screenshot just to familiarize people with the look and feel of what that looks like every quarter. And then just social content. This is all owned content, right? We're owning this content. We're providing this of value for local residents, regional travelers who are looking for a good deal or just some positivity in their world, and really just thanking them for choosing Fargo. I think that's a super important message to continue to share throughout the year. Again, people are just starting to feel comfortable again, right? So thanking them for, choosing us is a very important message. So next will just be a few slides of some display creative and then just a variety of social creatives, just to keep things fresh. For the creative, we're just wanting to create a sense of escape for those interested in travel. Not everyone is going to want to travel this year, but for those who are leaning towards it and trying to make some decisions, you obviously we're here to support that and create that sense of escaping just where we're at right now, and in a way that we can visually show a safe place, not a busy street with lots of people or anything like that. It's met with a very comfortable, supportive message. All right, so this first one is a display ad, and you'll see, hopefully you can see the animation happening on my screen. This rotates a total of 3 times. And then it stops at that last where you see the logo and the button to click to shop for flights. But we wanted to visualize, hey, you know what? A lot of us are still at our homes working. I'd like to be working somewhere like this, right? I'd like to maybe take a week off, and I can log in from that location. I could handle that. That'd be all right. So just distance yourself here. Right, distance yourself here. So it's playing a role in requirements in the world that we need to keep our distance, but yet we can do it in a smart location. We're being smart about our travel plans. We're following the rules, everything from the airlines to where we're choosing to vacation.
That looks great.
Go ahead.
No, I just said that looks great.
Okay. So that's one, and then here's 3 more, and I apologize for all the animation all at once, but I'd rather just play them all at once because they're very similar in feel. The messaging and the imagery is just a little bit different. So again, we wanted to pull in that when you're ready, right? When you're ready, we're not forcing you. We're not going to be forcing this aggressive approach of booking your flight. But when you're ready, escape that chill, right? We're in the chill months ahead now, and it's a perfect message for right now. When you're ready, jump in. When you're ready, go further. So these are all just, it's that supportive message of when you're ready, we're here for you, we're ready for you. But it's also the message of, okay, I'm ready, let's go. I want to escape, I want to go, let's book it. So that is for display creative. Those are the 4 different visuals that we can rotate with each other and run with each other and just see how they perform against each other. If something is just not doing well, we can pull it off or try something new. So it's nice that we can be nimble with this and flexible with the creative. Again, if things drastically change, we can slowly peel off the when you're ready, and readdress more of a traditional marketing message here. So, but I think this is going to appeal to, I would assume, majority of the year. So. The next slide is just some general social animation graphics. So these are breaking out from just a thank you message on the left side. It's just, we see your trust in #FlyFargo, which we use all the time on social media. Sorry, I'll wait for the rotation to come back. We see your trust in Fly Fargo, and we appreciate it. Our priority is your health and safety, and we look forward to seeing you soon. So just a simple thank you, and we see that you are interacting with us. We see that you are flying with us, and we appreciate your support. The middle one is just adding in some animation graphics. We started these last year, but just wanted to show the visual of those. Weather-related alerts, just giving people a visual versus just a standard travel alert image. Front row parking, again, touching on amenities with some simple little GIF animations. It's touching on those amenities that we do provide and keeping us top of mind. The next slide for social creative, again, these are just areas that we touch on in content every single month. We try to post, excuse me, timely low fares to destinations that appeal to people right now that feel safe. We try to do those every Friday, just kind of a low fare Friday post. So that would be, the actual low fare would fall into the post itself versus the image. That way we can just make sure it's timely and most up to date as possible. And just helpful, resourceful information that we're sharing with our followers. Simple, reminder to check your flight status before arriving at the airport, right? So things change and things are changing every day. I mean, especially in the winter months. So just reminding them that we're there with helpful, information that they can check right wherever they're from. And then up-to-date security information, obviously this changes as well. So things like, being able to carry hand sanitizer in your carry-on, separate from your other carry-on liquids, items like that, any TSA information. So we try to obviously have some nice visuals to go along with the content that we're sharing. So that, in a nutshell, is what we are proposing for 2021. So budget approval, any questions of where we're at? The only thing, typically we would be presenting 3 big concepts or 2 big concepts for a 3-year campaign. And this year it's very much, again, we're approaching it as we go, right? We don't know what it's going to be like in 6 months. So we would rather approach it like we have and shift if we need to and meet again and present again.
Great. Any questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Rick.
Is there, with the shop flights link, is there any click-through revenue that we get, and is that information ours? The metadata and the information, is that ours?
Did you hear that, Tara?
Yeah, no, there's no revenue coming back to Hector. No, those would typically go out to a Google flight fare, or it would go directly to an airline. Madison, you can speak to that as well, but there's no reward, like a reward kickback, correct?
Okay. Other questions?
I like how flexible it is, and the message is really on target for where we're at right now. So great job. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the plan for 2021. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the marketing plan for the year 2021 as presented by Flint Communication. Is there a second? Did I have a second? I shouldn't even say that. Did you do a second?
I did not.
Okay.
I did have one other question.
Okay.
The Bison football stuff that we had, you said rolled over from last year, right? So that was Bison football was supposed to be in the fall, and then we had committed to it. So that was kind of a commitment from last year, and it's just rolling over to this year. We didn't spend that money last year, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so that wasn't
We
money
did
that
not
was spent.
spend that money last year.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I will I'll second the plan for this year.
Okay. And it's been moved and seconded. Now, quick question, it's at the bottom it says all advertising paused as of March 19th, is that correct?
That would be
Was that
correct,
paid?
as of last year,
Okay.
yes, yep.
Okay,
Yeah, and you
Sounds
can
good.
kind of see, this was kind of a typical time frame where we advertise on the shoulder months
Yeah.
in years past. March 19th, yes. So pretty much halfway through the first shoulder, we paused. Yep.
okay.
Okay. Any other further questions for Flint? So as I said, it's been moved by Mr. Haugen and seconded by Mr. Lind that we approve the Flint Media Services marketing plan for 2021. Roll call vote.
Hogan,
Aye.
Engen,
Aye.
Cosgriff,
Aye.
Lind,
Aye.
Lynn.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
No,
It was on.
it was all good.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Number 5, receive communication from Dakota Allied Properties LLC for a ground lease to construct a maintenance hangar.
Paul Johnson is in the audience here today representing Dakota Allied Properties. And this is for the construction of a maintenance hangar for Bemidji Aviation. That'll be the tenant of this building up in our air cargo apron, just to the west or adjacent to the corporate air hangar that's used by the FedEx feeder company there. They're proposing a 12,000 square foot hangar along with some parking lot and so forth. They are asking for a 40-year lease and for approximately 40,000 total square feet. I've got a legal description here, the second draft that's just slightly under that, but we'll be working to finalize the legal description along with the actual lease agreement itself. But today it's basically to see if you have any questions for Paul. I know the tenant, Colin Strain, is on from Bemidji Aviation. The builder, Jed Krieg, I think I saw him on there, just to see if you have any questions with their plan.
When's construction? When do you propose construction start?
We propose, after getting all the approvals, that we would start late spring and hopefully be finished by late November, early December.
Okay. And we pour a taxiway for that? Yeah?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
this will be adjacent to the cargo apron.
Okay, so
So-
just right on it.
We pour within 50 feet of the threshold or the front door of the hangar. It's a different criteria with this hangar than it was for corporate air and FedEx. It was 25 feet, but the FAA changed it to now 50 feet. So the concrete in between there will be coordinated with our engineering firm and their contractor to fill in that gap. So they'll be building that adjacent to the cargo apron that will be paved this coming summer.
Okay, and the 40-year lease is what everybody else got too?
Pretty standard, yeah. So we can do that, and we'll work with Stacy and Paul and their attorneys to put that together here over the next month or so, or next few weeks once we get some more information regarding that. So the only caveat, and I know Colin is on there, maybe Paul can answer that, is it's a maintenance hangar for Bemidji Aviation to service their aircraft, but there had been discussion of the possibility of allowing their competitors into the hangar and maybe providing maintenance for their competitors, which would then put them into a limited fixed space operator type situation where they would pay us a percentage of the revenue, which is 1.5% or like $100 a month, whichever is minimum. But we'll work through that permission as that information comes together. And I don't know, Colin, if you have any information on that, or if that's just an idea at this point or a possibility in the future.
It's more of an idea. We are currently operating 7 out of the 9 aircraft that are flying for UPS. And so there is an Embraer and a 1900 currently operating. They asked us back when we started up there in 2017 if we'd be able to maybe change a tire or do something for them now and then. That's kind of gone away, but we just want to keep it open in case that comes of the line where there might be another aircraft in there and they ask. We want to service the airport the best that we can with that facility that we're putting in.
You probably will notice the east wall of their hangar as opposed to the west wall for their neighbor corporate air, there's approximately 25 feet between the facilities, so there's some open green space. And the majority of that open green space will be part of this lease agreement. And the reason for the distance is due to the fire code, firewalls, etc., 2-hour firewalls, 3-hour firewalls. It's further than what I would prefer, but that's kind of how the building code reads. We like to use all the available space that we have, but we'll do that. The hangar is quite a bit smaller than what I had anticipated, or I think this board had anticipated over the years, but some of that has to do with the fire code itself as far as a sprinkler system. I believe that there is a national effort, Colin, I think you've been part of those conversations, and maybe Jed as the contractor, and I know Jim Sweeney's at the tip of the spear on working with their association across the country to try and change the square footage requirements that require a sprinkler system. And I believe the insurance industry has paid out far more claims in accidental discharges of foam onto aircraft than they have for actual fires of aircraft. So the industry itself is trying to get that to a higher number. I don't know if it's 40,000 square feet or whatever that may be. And if that's the case, I think I have a good feeling that in the not too distant future, Bemidji will decide along with Dakota Allied to maybe increase the size of that hangar significantly. So it's being constructed so that it can be easily added onto towards the north.
Good.
What's the current size right now?
12,000.
12,000 square feet.
I have a question on that. With your current aircraft, how many maintenance bays is that? I hear square footage and I don't know if that holds a 737 or a Cessna 172.
Do you want to address that?
Well, with our current aircraft, we can put 4 of our Metro liners, which is the biggest aircraft we are running, in there, no problem. That will also service, if you take the largest aircraft that's allowable right now by UPS, which is the Embraers, that will service 2 of those and still service a couple of our smaller aircraft that they're running out of there right now, the size of the Queen Air. Sean is right. Right now, 12,000 square feet is the maximum allowed square feet for a hangar, non-foamed. And regulations, if passed, would change in 2022 to allow up to a 40,000 square feet on a maintenance-based hangar.
Thanks.
I think one of the big differences you'll see in the corporate air hangar, which we have in a very similar situation, Midwest Development Construction, or Jerry Dean from Lenexa, Kansas, owns that hangar and then leases that to corporate air. This will be a very similar agreement where a developer will own the hangar and then lease it to the tenant. The corporate air hangar is significantly larger, but there's a requirement, I believe, on behalf of FedEx or corporate air that all of those aircraft are put in the hangar every night. That isn't the need or desire of, I believe, Bemidji and or UPS. So storage versus maintenance, or storage and maintenance versus just strictly a maintenance hangar.
Good, thank you. Any further questions? All right, thank you very much. I don't think we need to vote on that.
We will bring back to you at a future meeting a draft of the lease agreement. I would say within the next month we should have that probably put together. And then as they work through the process to get their building permit, you know, maybe the lease starts in April or May, whenever you can break ground, that's when the lease would start, and we'll work through those requirements at that time.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. You guys are good to go. You have our blessing to build a hangar here.
All right.
Yeah, happy to have you.
6, authorized purchase of escalator handrail sterilization units and maintenance of units.
Well, so this is a proposal from Otis. Part of what is in this proposal needs to be done regardless, which is the replacement of some handrail rollers and types and guides. I don't know if Dan Willis is here, our landside operations supervisor, if you have any questions. But Dan, that is true. The rollers and handrails need to be replaced regardless.
Well, yes. Right now, they have like silicone guides that they go around, which create a lot of heat and stresses the parts throughout the escalator. And this proposal would be changing that to rollers, so that would reduce the heat and stress on all the parts of the escalator. right now, about every 3 months, they have to replace that nylon strip in there, which takes our escalator down. And right now, we have a lot of times where our escalator's down because of maintenance, you know, which is inconvenience for our passengers that are coming. They get here and the escalators are shut down. And the heat also, with the stress it's putting on the parts, causes downtime for repairs, where we're waiting for them to come out and repair it. The chains that actually run it, the heat gets transferred into them and stretches them out. So we've had to replace our chains a few times already. So this whole roller concept on the handrails kind of changes our escalator from being a light duty escalator to a more heavy duty escalator, which is more of what our usage is.
Okay.
And then the other part of it is to put sanitation into ultraviolet light. So every time the handrail goes around, it goes through the ultraviolet light and kills the germs that are on the handrail, which is better for our passengers. Safer.
That's great.
Yeah, so I guess we would ask your approval to go ahead with this project here. Part of it is COVID related with the antibacterial module that they'll be able to install. The other part of it is just strictly a maintenance type item. But this product just became available in the last year or so since COVID, and we've been waiting until we just got this last week, a proposal to be able to put the LED UVC handrail and bacterial module on.
Can the CARES money pay for that?
We believe that we'll be eligible for that. We'll work with the FAA to make sure. Sometimes they look at this as a development project because of the cost.
Okay.
But we would probably need a Buy American waiver, possibly. We're working, I don't know if they've provided yet the full parts list, if it's American made or not. Escalators typically are foreign made, they're not US made. So we'll work with the FAA to see if they will cover it, but regardless, it'll be a good addition.
The only thing I didn't like is I read that it said anything that this is not covered under the current service contract, that the LED, if it causes any damage to any of the stuff, it was not covered under the service contract.
And we do have a new service contract proposal from them to do the escalators. And ironically enough, we have Otis elevators, but they're maintained by their competitor, which has been that way since 1986 when they were put in. So we do have an air purifier option to put into the elevator as well, but we're waiting for the Tyson contract to possibly be, I guess, canceled, if you will, and then entertain a proposal from Otis to take over both the elevators and the escalators at a pretty significantly reduced cost.
Okay.
So this would be something in addition to the maintenance contract that we would have with them on the escalators.
Okay, so the rollers need to be done regardless.
Correct.
And then the LED light is just beneficial.
Correct. Yeah. Because the handrails, you're supposed to, I mean, the rules are you put your hands on the handrails when you go up the escalator, at least one. It's probably one of the most highly touched surfaces in the terminal. So we usually sit there with a rag with disinfectant on it on both handrails and just let them spin, re-put disinfectant on, and this will just eliminate the need to do that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we accept their proposal.
Thank you. Is there a second on that motion? To accept the proposal?
Second.
Moved by Rick, seconded by Mike. Are there any other questions before we press forward with this motion? Hearing none, should we do a roll call?
Sure.
Because let's do a roll call vote, okay?
Haugen?
Aye.
Engen?
Aye.
Cosgrove?
Aye.
Lind?
Okay.
Lynn?
Aye. Thank you. You know, and that will be once. Do we have a timeline on that?
We don't. I would say it's going to be a month, within the next month and a half, I would say.
That'll be another great PR opportunity for safety.
Yep, you bet.
Okay. 7, airport construction and security update.
Well, I know Terry is on, I believe, or someone from TL Stroh. I'll just start out by saying that when we had the high winds here a couple weeks ago, we forewarned the contractors to batten down the hatches and make sure things were. And on our existing maintenance shop, we had quite a bit of the styrofoam come off. We had vehicles that were damaged. It was an absolute mess. They did come out during the height of the storm and secured things. They had a small unit on top weighing everything down, and oh my gosh, it blew that out of the way, and it was a mess. But nonetheless, Terry, take it from there.
Yeah, I saw that email come through when you told them about, storm coming and batten down the hatches, so to speak. And I sent another one kind of saying like he really means it, and for some reason, who knows why it didn't get done, but I'm thinking we're past most of that stuff blowing around, but
well, there'll be another Thursday, Friday, so there'll be another
right.
windstorm coming Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. I'm actually after we're done with this phone call, I'm gonna, because I kind of figured you might say something. I'm gonna get on the phone with Roger and let him know how the meeting went and what was said, so we can get him to maybe take it, extra precautions. I'm assuming what they do is they talk to their subs and tell them to do things, and and don't just assume they're going to do it, and they end up not doing it. So, or they don't secure it the way they really need to, I guess, is more than likely. So what's going on, and again, you guys drive by and see it all the time, but the roofing on the existing SRE is complete. So the re-roofing project is done. They're installing some miscellaneous metals in that the addition. They're doing wall panels. That shouldn't take too long because it's not that big. They're finishing getting the generator wired, and going to be switching over feeders here soon. So then that will be operational. On the new building, we're about a little over 80% complete on the roofing. We had to dig out after the storm, and they're kind of thinking they would finish that roof this week. You see that they have temporary enclosures over the doors, overhead doors, so they can keep the heat in the building, and they started up temporary heaters in there as well. And so they're going to be installing those doors this Wednesday. So I think what they've been doing is all the metal work to install the physical door panels. Rain leaders are done, gas meters installed, the rooftop units are set. So they'll probably, there really is ton of duct work in there, and it's all pretty big. So they manufacture typically at a shop and then install it. So that should go pretty quick. So they're pulling wiring and doing all the, all the work on the inside. Typically, like I said, we don't really can't do any wiring or anything until it's watertight. So in a building that big, I'm assuming they're working on one side that's got a roof over it. So they don't have any worries about getting water into conduit and wiring and stuff. So that's kind of where we sit.
Okay.
Thank you. Questions from anybody?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, do you have anything? I think we're waiting for the FA to review that environmental scope of work that we had talked about the last couple of meetings, correct?
That is correct. We have it done, and the FAA is still reviewing it. So until they approve it, there's no sense in bringing it forward to the authority. I don't anticipate any major changes to it, but you never know. And then I guess I'll just add that I heard from Northern Improvement yesterday that Dakota Fence wants to take advantage of the nice weather this week and install the framework for the overhead liftgate on the UPS apron. So there'll be a minor amount of work going on.
Okay, good.
Good deal.
Anything else?
I think security-wise, we're okay, Darren? Jordan?
Okay.
We're secure.
Okay, good.
Just some quick afterthoughts here. December, our employments were 19,820 for December as compared to 46,021 in December of 2019. That's a decrease of 56.9%. A little more than what I had anticipated, but I think the lockdowns and other things that have happened in different states have discouraged some travel from here to other destinations. So for the year, we ended up with 238,500 employed passengers versus 471,333 in calendar year 2019. That's a decrease of 49.4%. Those numbers do not include 1,669 charter passengers. So could have been worse, but at least we weren't in the 50% range. Some airports are 60, 70% down. So I think a state report will be coming out today or tomorrow with the entire state results for the commercial service airports. The legislature is in session and working with the Airport Association of North Dakota. There's a bill that was just assigned in the Senate yesterday, I forget what committee, that's dealing with transportation network companies, or TNCs, Uber and Lyft. We've tried the last two legislative sessions to get a bill passed whereby it will allow the commercial service airports in North Dakota to enter into agreements with transportation network companies. We were really close last year. We hope we have some momentum this year, but the time will tell. I plan to try and put together some testimony for that and do that virtually as we get the exact date and time for the hearing next week. Matt Ramsey from the Bismarck Airport is the president of the Airport Association. He's kind of leading that charge along with Odney and some others that are helping the Airport Association to lobby and get our point across. There's a new CARES grant that was passed by Congress just here in the last few days. The exact details aren't known. I can't tell you if we are going to get funds or we're not. It remains to be seen. There's a provision in the new legislation that any airport that received more than 4 years of operational expenses in the previous grant, you would not be eligible. There's another caveat in this grant that will provide for airports to apply and receive any differences in required payments by concessionaires, car rental, restaurant, gift shop, etc., that had minimum annual guarantees. And the only minimum annual guarantee that we have now is with our car rental agencies, and we had one agency that didn't meet that minimum annual guarantee for calendar year 2020, which was $65,000. We'll be working with them to rectify that. The minimum annual guarantee for 2021 goes to $70,000. You may receive a request from the car rental agencies or whatever to waive the minimum annual guarantee for 2021. We'll see where that goes, but there's provision in this new legislation that may allow us to capture the difference between what was paid and what the minimum annual guarantee will be for those concessions. But more details are being worked on that. The FAA said yesterday they're still working on getting the information out to the airports across the country. At our next meeting, and I think I had sent to you yesterday an email I got from Sean Bullinger at the city with all of the North University Drive easements, both permanent and temporary easements that will be necessary for the North University Drive construction project, which they're hoping to get out to bid and started this coming summer. The other part, and I may lean on Board Member Lind or General Haugen here, is that there's a change of responsibility with the North Dakota Air National Guard. Colonel Anderson is being promoted to a state position to replace Tom Braden, correct? Or on the state side?
Yeah.
He's going to Bismarck, and then Colonel Mitch Anderson will be promoted to the commander of the guard. Or Johnson, sorry. Mitch Johnson will be the 119th commander. But who's Colonel Anderson replacing again at the state? Is it,
I don't know who he's replacing.
I thought
He's getting promoted.
Brad? Yeah, Brigadier General Brad. Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, so there'll be some changes coming up there, and we'll keep you advised, I guess, when those ceremonies are. I assume they're going to be virtual. I don't know if we'll be locked out of the base, but I haven't missed one since 90, so, or 91. But this might be the first time to do the change of responsibility, they call it, versus change of command. I guess I don't know how that works, but outside of that, I don't know if you want to give a PEC update, Chairman.
We met last week with the PEC again. And we came to some resolutions on, I think many of the members were at that meeting virtually. So just to say that we moved forward with recommendations that were unanimously passed by the commission or the members there. And that right now it's in the hands of the city and they will put ranges together. So we're kind of at a sit and wait until and then it'll come to us. If there's anything that I misspoke about, please bring it up.
I think it's been approved. Now they're just putting the details out in terms of what it's going to look like and how that's going to fit into the current pay plan, I guess, that the city has.
Correct. Yeah. So it was everything was approved, right?
Okay.
So the PEC made the decision, correct?
The PEC made the decision, correct.
Okay. So then it's just how to implement it.
Correct.
It's not. It doesn't go back to the city for anything else except.
It's just how to implement it.
What you decided. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Putting it in writing. The only other thing I have, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but Casey Lindquist from the FAA is on there. I see. Casey, is it official? Are you still the acting Fargo air traffic manager, or are you the traffic manager now?
Yep, still acting. My term will end March 25th, and we should have news before then of who will be permanent. And I can email the airport when that takes effect. But yeah, as of right now,
So
who would the?
Have you had any issues, or what's the update from air traffic with all the cargo flights, the big departures in the morning and the arrivals at night? How are you guys dealing with all the increased activity?
You know, everything is going well on our side. We, staff a little heavier for the cargo push in the morning and then in the evening. On our side, we haven't had any issues to report or note. Everything's been going very well with us, and thankfully too, we've been very good on COVID, so no staffing issues due to COVID. So knock on wood, though.
What's your total FTE count now at the tower? Total head count?
As of right now, we have 20 controllers, and 3 of which are in training. And we just onboarded a new supervisor, Brandon Anderson from Crystal. He's worked in Alaska, Grand Forks, and Crystal. So you'll hear a new voice on the radio now.
All right. Thanks. Well, sorry to put you on the spot, Casey, but
Thank you
for joining us. And the final thing, Stacy, do you want to give us an update on the Mathern property? I know you were doing some title opinion and abstract updates. Where are you at?
So I learned that the city had the abstract for the property, so I retrieved that, and the abstract company does have that now and is going through the process of the update. Not sure how long that would be, but they've had it almost 2 weeks. And then I've put together a draft purchase agreement, which is nothing too extravagant because this is a pretty straightforward deal. So I guess it's really a matter of waiting on the abstract update and then seeing if the Matherns want an actual title opinion done. So we're moving forward, but like everything else in COVID, it seems like things move somewhat slowly.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you. Any other business to come before the Municipal Airport Authority? All right, meeting adjourned.